And another day of local television frivolity and entertainment and information has arrived on this Thursday, the 18th day of October, 2018. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Coots, your host, Steve Hare, news guy. To my immediate left, Cat in control. Happy Friday Eve to you, Steve.
And you too.
Yeah, busy show today, man. We got a big one.
I'll tell you what, we got a lot to squeeze into a little hour program here, don't we?
We'll make it. We'll make it happen.
Okay, well, you're good at it.
Yeah.
That's why we call you the host.
I won by default, quite frankly.
I
I pulled the short straw out of that one. Great show for you today. Steve's got a lot of news to get to. We got just a bucket full of sports to tackle. Very entertaining game last night between the Red Sox and the Houston Astros. It was one of those, I love postseason baseball. I don't care who's in it. I'm watching because, you go from every game is important to every inning is important to every pitch is important. And the drama at Minute Maid Park in Houston was sky high yesterday, baby.
You mean you didn't watch the debate?
No, I didn't watch the debate. We'll have highlights of that, if you can call it highlights from Kim Schreier and Dino Rossi's one and only debate, which held yesterday on the campus of Central Washington University. We carried it live here last night on the NCW Live channel. I watched it during commercial breaks and bits and pieces. I personally speaking, I got nothing out of it.
Well, there was no real surprises. I don't
No.
think they both have taken, pretty much their partisan positions, and those are pretty well outlined, I think, when you're talking about the economy and health care from a GOP or a Democratic perspective. I think they've all got the talking points. And,
Boy, I'll give them
yeah,
that. I'll
yeah.
give both of the candidates this. They have their talking points memorized
Oh,
down. They
boy,
got
do
that.
they ever.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
But we do have a little snippet from last night's debate. In fact, if you missed it last night, you can watch it on demand, I believe, on our website.
And we'll also be broadcasting it as well.
Rebroadcasting it
quite
as
a bit.
well. Mm-hmm.
Kennel Cameos with Megan McPherson will be dropping by. We have, see if we can get Danny the dog home. Also, the interview portion, the second half of this program, are the members of the North Central Washington Volleyball Club that came by a couple of days ago to tape it. Jeff Riley and Connor Metcalf. Connor Metcalf is the director of coaches. Jeff Riley is the president of the Wenatchee Volleyball Club. Tryouts are coming out, so get your daughter out there and playing volleyball. It's good for you. We'll talk about that in the second half of the program. We got a lot to get to. You want to jump right into our cameras?
Yeah,
Just do it.
I would love to.
Yep. Few high clouds out there. Outside of that, another drop-dead gorgeous morning. We're still 20 minutes away from sunrise officially, Steve, but the cameras are set up. It's going to soak up as much daylight as it possibly can. So that could be a bit deceiving. It's probably in real life not that bright. The camera makes the necessary adjustments to let in as much light as possible.
But I'll tell you what, I don't care how much light you have, that's a beautiful scene right there.
Eric was right on the money. He made this statement yesterday, and we were just hanging around the bullpen. He said this is making up for August, and he's right, because
Yeah,
August
he's right.
we had, of course, that
Terrible smoke.
smoky air, and now we have this beautiful, beautiful weather, and it's going to stay this way through the rest of the weekend. That's a few passing high clouds, and that's really about it.
I guess next week we could expect some kind of a change. right?
Yep, that's down the road. Enjoy
Yeah.
this while you can, folks.
Yeah.
We're still going to have some really nice weather for another 4.5, 5 days or so. Camera 2, Kat, where are we going? We're going to go see Omi Gardens. That's beautiful. By the way, our friends from Omi Gardens, the brand new director up there, will be on this show next week.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, looking forward to that. The lovely Mrs. Howell will be joining us. They have a Make a Difference Day project coming up.
That's good. Yeah, good show.
I should probably mention that all next week on this very program, we will be spotlighting various Make a Difference Day projects. Make a Difference Day is Saturday the 27th. Margie Kerr and Laurel Helton came by yesterday. We taped our interview with them. We'll air that on Monday. And then all next week, all of my guests will be talking about their Make a Difference Day projects.
Margie, bring our cookies?
Oh, yeah, which I put
And I didn't even get any.
Well, I was an idiot because I put them in the kitchen and they were
Oh,
gone.
they're gone.
Yeah, forget about that. Good morning,
Thanks,
Annie.
Margie.
What's that?
Thanks, Margie.
Yeah, no, I love it. She's a sweetie. So is Laurel. Good morning, Aniat, the beautiful town of Aniat, the gateway to recreation. That's our Waterville camera. And again, we can move these cameras around. We can zoom it in and out. If we turn it the other direction, you can actually see the lovely hamlet of Waterville.
And of course, they're harvesting that fruit from those orchards that you see there in the foreground.
I bet you this weather's really good for apples. I'm assuming. I don't know.
Well, they like to see the cooler temperatures in the morning.
Yeah.
Kind of adds to the sugar content.
Camera 4. We're already up to 4. This show's flying by. Beautiful downtown Wenatchee on a good-looking Thursday morning. Just a little hazy. Some of that, what you're seeing there is really smoke that's trapped down on the valley floor. This is the time of the year when this can happen, when you have clear, cold overnight lows. People fire up their wood stoves and things like that. Plus, there's orchard burns going on.
That's right.
And this is also the time of year when isn't the time of year when they start doing controlled burns in the
They're
in
doing some
areas?
prescribed burning as well in the
Prescribed burnings,
forest,
right.
although they say it's been a little too dry to do it.
Yeah, it's understandable.
And so the inversion also would cause some smoke issues for the people impacted. But yeah, I talked to Robin Amario with the Forest Service earlier this week, and she said they have some planned in the Wenatchee River Ranger District and in the Chelan Ranger District, but they've kind of held off on that until the conditions are, well, prescription.
Do they have to go to the doctor to get a prescription
I'm not
to do
sure.
those? I don't know. Be a big bottle though, wouldn't it? From the National Weather Service, here's your forecast. And boy, it's day number, I think, 7 of this beautiful weather. As you can see, we're going to go 8, 9, 10, 11 days in a row of just sunny and nice before things finally change a little bit on Tuesday. You're talking about we need some precipitation. We're way behind on that. Could arrive by Tuesday in the Cascades and in our area by Wednesday as we start to cloud out and cool down. All of those temperatures are above normal, although they have not been getting to where they've been expecting. Yesterday's high was 64. They were expecting about 68. So we're not quite getting to those afternoon highs. Outside of a few passing high clouds, we're just going to continue with that ridge of high pressure, which is going to start breaking down and flattening out Sunday into Monday. So no real change at all for the next 5 days. So enjoy this while you can. This is going to be another weekend, Steve, where it's just, I can't justify being inside on Saturday and Sunday. It's just not going to happen. So.
I might even venture out myself.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No. Get out of town. Well, that should be our top news story. Steve C's son. It's 6.5 minutes after the hour. Speaking of news, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the information you need to get your Thursday going will come courtesy of news guy Steve Hare. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live this morning from Studio 49 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by LocalTel. The Red Cross Confluence Health Blood Drive is this Friday from 10 to 3 in the LocalTel Event Center at Pybus Public Market. To register, visit redcrossblood.org. The Nooks and Crannies Tour at Wells House is this Friday and Saturday. This is an exclusive tour of the castle at Wenatchee Valley College that includes floors usually restricted to the public. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
The NCW Live channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and Other Stuff. The 12th District. Life with Lisa. And the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Live channel is your local TV station.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Good morning and welcome to a Thursday. It's October 18th. Here's what's happening around north central Washington. Leading off our news, a 19-year-old Wenatchee man remains in critical condition at Harborview Medical Center after he was injured Monday night when he fell out of a moving vehicle. Accident happened around 10 in the evening. Injured in that accident was Gage Ewan Mora of Wenatchee. Captain Edgar Reinfeld with the Wenatchee Police Department describes what happened.
Officers responded to what initially came out as a call for an unconscious 19-year-old male in the 900 block of North Mission Street. They arrived to find a male that had actually fallen out of a moving vehicle and was critically injured. The basic story is that there were 3 people in a vehicle, a regular cab pickup with a bench seat, male driver, female passenger in the middle, and a second male passenger who was the one who was now down in the street. While they were driving, that 19-year-old male had put his upper body out the window, was hanging more and more of his body out of the car as the driver was going north on Mission Street and lost his balance and fell out and struck his head and body on the pavement hard and tumbled for a short distance before coming to rest unconscious in the street. Officers arrived and rendered aid along with fire and ambulance crews doing CPR in the field, and that patient was eventually transported to Central Washington Hospital and then later transferred to Harborview Medical Center.
Reinfeld added that the driver of the pickup truck submitted to a blood and a breath test, which he says came back negative. A Harborview Medical Center official, nursing supervisor there, reported to NCW Life News this morning that Mora remains in intensive care in critical condition. Also, the midterm election is officially underway as ballots are being mailed out this week in Washington State. Douglas County Auditor Thad Duvall anticipates a higher than normal turnout. He tells NCW Life News that voter registration is at an all-time high.
We've got over 21,000 mailed out right now, and we're still getting people that are registering in person for the first time. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up with more than 22,000 ballots mailed out, and this would be pretty close to a high point for Douglas County.
Obviously, a lot of interest in the midterms this year, what with congressional races, initiatives and such. What are you looking at in terms of a possible turnout this year?
You know, originally, Steve, I was kind of hoping for 55 to 60%, but we've got a lot of interest. I wouldn't be surprised if we got upwards of 65% turnout this time. I'm being optimistic with all the interest. And again, the ballots went out yesterday in Douglas County, whereas Chelan County will be mailing out their ballots on Friday. They must be postmarked by November 6th in order to be counted. Also, another election-related story this morning, Central Washington University played host to a debate last night between 8th Congressional District candidates Dino Rossi and Kim Schreier. Now, the two candidates addressed a myriad of issues. No real surprises in the debate, as both candidates assuming partisan positions on key issues such as cost and delivery of health care.
And what we need to do is we make sure we bring competition into the system. And you can do it in various ways, by being able to buy across state lines and freeing up the mandates that we currently have. My opponent wants a government takeover of health care. And a government takeover of health care means that the government's going to pick your doctors, going to pick your hospital. We can't afford that. Even the left-leaning think tanks say that it's going to have to double our income taxes to pay for it. So the bottom line in the end is that if we actually free this up, and the system will work. It'll work if we have competition in the system. And right now we just don't have that. And you know, I believe that as we move through this debate, you're going to hear more and more about these things, because the government takeover health care will destroy Medicare as we know it. And seniors are counting on Medicare. People that are paid into it for years are counting on it. And I want to make sure it's there for the future.
And I got into this race because I want to make sure that every family in this district, in this country, can afford the care that they need. And that means shoring up the Affordable Care Act, not sabotaging it like our president, and certainly not repealing it without a better replacement like my opponent would do. He supports dismantling the Affordable Care Act and taking away protections for people with pre-existing conditions. This would take health care away from 32,000 people in our district. He also doesn't believe that women can make their own health care decisions, and I think that is a critically important issue. One thing to understand is that I will always be a voice for the people in this district and making sure that people can afford the health care they need, and he will be a voice for insurance companies and big pharma.
Last night was the only time the two candidates will face off in a debate. If you missed it, you can view it on demand on our website, and we'll also be rebroadcasting that debate this weekend. Also, a federal court ruling has refueled the debate over breaching dams on the Columbia and Snake Rivers. The ruling that was issued Wednesday by the U.S. District Court in Seattle orders protection for salmon from warm water temperatures that have impacted fish survival. The court found that the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, has failed to perform its mandatory duty to enforce and ensure a temperature daily maximum in concert with other types of water quality parameters under the Clean Water Act. Federal Judge Ricardo Martinez ordered the agency to issue a temporary, or rather I should say a temperature standard for the river of 68 degrees. The ruling cites climate change as worsening a long-standing problem with water temperatures and reservoirs between hydro-powered dams on the river. The Clean Water Act bans Columbia River temperatures over 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Court ruling was praised by the conservation and fisheries groups who filed the original lawsuit. A spokesman for the Pacific Coast Federation of Fishermen's Association said, quoting here, "It's simply unacceptable to let hot water kill otherwise healthy adult salmon before they can spawn." He said that they were glad EPA will finally do its job, end quote. Mission Ridge Ski and Board Resort's plans for expansion receives the support of the Chelan County Port District. The 3-member Board of Commissioners voted unanimously this week in favor of the plans at the regular meeting. Commission Chairman Rory Turner said the project fits perfectly with the port's economic development goals and support for more year-round outdoor recreation opportunities.
The opportunity that they have with the private property that they've acquired is just sensational. They're very careful with their development and what they're trying to do. I think they've been listening to the community and the agencies that they're working with. And I just think it's just really a positive approach to bringing something maybe from a long-term standpoint, having hospitality on the hill makes a huge difference in this.
And by the way, that project is still undergoing a Washington State environmental analysis and application approval as required by the U.S. Forest Service. One final note here, Dan, we do have a workshop tonight, Wenatchee City Council meeting and a workshop. They have several issues they're going to be talking about. That workshop starts at 5:15. They're going to lead it off with that Mission Ridge expansion. Josh Jorgensen will be there to provide an update and a status report on their plans. They're also going to be talking about salaries. They're going to be doing a review of the council and mayor salaries that Allison Williams will be giving them an update on as well. So that again at Wenatchee City Council's work session this evening. It starts at 5:15 at City Hall.
I think the mayor could use a big raise. I don't know.
I think so. I think so. Check out that sunrise behind me, huh?
Look at that. This is gorgeous. Can we look at that again, Kat? That's just
Gorgeous.
beautiful.
Wow.
I'm not moving anywhere.
Picture perfect, huh?
Yeah.
It really
These-
highlights the bridge.
It's just beautiful. These are the kind of days that you want to bottle and open up about mid-January, when we're socked in with the clouds and all that stuff.
We should remind folks that there's going to be another earthquake preparedness drill today, the drop, cover, hold. EAS alert will be coming out at 10:18 this morning. So don't be alarmed. This is only a test.
This is only a television program.
Yeah, there you go.
Temperatures around the valley. Let's take you around north central Washington, really. Moses Lake, 28 degrees. It's been really cool overnight lows
chilly.
out there in the basement. In the basin, Ephrata is at 34. Good morning, Ellensburg. Down there, you're at 30 degrees. Dryden, 32. Cashmere, 35. Chelan, you're at 37 degrees. Outside of our studios, 37 degrees as well. Inside of our studios, a comfortable 71. The news with Grant Olson comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Grant in the anchor chair. Eric handling sports. Whatever happened on this Thursday, we'll put it together for you in one package. You can also watch it on demand on our website late in the afternoon, early in the evening. A lot of people do that. Notice that. We get a lot of people who prefer to ingest their news that we provide to you just when they're comfortable and they're ready to do it. They can just pop on their tablet
And
or
it's
their
free.
phone. And it's free. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we should start charging.
No, please don't do that.
If there's something out there you think warrants our attention, we try to make it as easy as possible for you to get a hold of us. And doing the honors, once again, news guy Steve Hare.
No excuse, really. I mean, there's so many ways you can contact us. First at our email address, news@ncwlive.com. That ensures that your message will get to all of our reporters here. You can contact us on our website at ncwlive.com. At the top of the page there, a little contact tab. Just click that and talk to us. Social media, a good way. Facebook, Twitter, and as always, our breaking news hotline available if you see news happening, 888-6295.
And don't forget, if you want to comment on this show and how we're doing, you're more than welcome to do it. Just remember the rule of thumb, unqualified praise only, please.
Keep it civil, too, please.
19 minutes after the hour. Sports, the obscure holiday, kennel cameos, today in history. Everybody's entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. Birthdays, and our friends from the North Central Washington Volleyball Club. All coming up between now and the top of the hour. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
I came here to CVCH because one of my friends referred me. When I met Dr. Jocelyn, she was just amazing. She connected with my son, and it meant so much to me. He opens up so quickly because she just sits there and plays with him. It really is like going to see a friend. It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted and respected. It just feels like home.
Hello, Wenatchee Valley. Christian Shaman here with Bay Equity Home Loans.
Let us make your dream of home ownership a reality. We're here to guide you through the loan process every step of the way. Check out our convenient online application. Bay Equity Home Loans in Wenatchee, your home for loans.
Stop on by or give us a call today.
And we're back at 20 minutes after the hour, 37 degrees. A few high clouds. We'll be topping off in the mid to upper 60s for the rest of the week and right into the weekend. There's absolutely nothing like that pitch-to-pitch, inning-to-inning drama that you can only get with postseason baseball. Last night, Boston and Houston, Game 4 at Minute Maid Park. Bottom of the ninth, bases loaded. 2 outs, the best hitter that the Astros have, Alex Bregman at the plate, the best closer that the Red Sox have on the mound, Craig Kimbrell. Kimball, I should say. It was 8-6. Houston was behind. Bregman driving Kimbrell's first pitch, sinking line drive, left field. Boston's Andrew Benintendi made a spectacular catch, and the Red Sox win. They are 1 win away from returning to the World Series. The Astros will turn to ace Justin Verlander to extend their season today. Game 5 is at 5:09 on TBS. Meanwhile, the Dodgers moved up to lead the National League Championship Series. They lead that 3-2. They beat Milwaukee yesterday 5-2 at Dodger Stadium. Clayton Kershaw looked really good because he is really good. He pitched 7 masterful innings of 1-run, 3-hit ball with 9 strikeouts. Game 6 back in Milwaukee Friday night at 5:39 on FS1. Let's turn to the prep soccer schedule for today. There you see it. The season starting to wind down now for these teams. Manson's at Brewster, Chelan's at Cashmere, Davis is at Eastmont. Wenatchee Panthers on the road to take on West Valley at 7 o'clock tonight on the volleyball court. Man, what a great match this was 1 month ago at Eastmont's gymnasium, and went 5 full sets over 2 hours of back and forth, spine-tingling volleyball. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was epic. Tonight, these 2 teams will meet again, this time at the Wenatchee High School Gymnasium. Panther coach Connor Metcalf says his team is playing a lot better now than they were earlier in the season.
The record doesn't speak of it right now. It was a little bit of a slow start, but I would say probably in the last 2.5 weeks, we've really picked up steam, and these girls are playing with a ton of confidence. They're confident with our philosophies that we have now. They're confident with the skills. They're going up. They're doing things inside of practice and matches and adapting to the gameplay. So I'm really excited, having started our second leg of league this last week. I'm really excited to see where we finish up here this last half of it.
Following Eastmont's win on Tuesday over Eisenhower, head coach Corinne Davis said she and her team are looking forward to the rematch against the Panthers.
We'll see. Like I said, there's something in some kind of thing. Wenatchee and Eastmont, we tend to go 5 quite a bit. Who knows? It'll definitely be a good matchup. I know they're going to bring a lot, and we're ready to bring some too. So.
Panthers and Wildcats, Wenatchee High School's gymnasium, 7 o'clock is when they'll start. We'll take to the air at about 6:50. Everett Granstrom and Leanne Brannon will be there to make the call live right here on this very TV station. Also tonight on the prep volleyball schedule, there you see it. Antioch will host Wilson Creek at 5:30. Brewster is at Manson. Orville hosts Swaterville Mansfield. Chelan travels to Cashmere. Those games get going at 6:30. Everybody into the pool. Big Nine has a big swim meet today at Moses Lake. It's the Big Nine swim and dive meet at the pool today. Starts at 4 o'clock. Our featured football game of the week this Friday night. The Eastmont Wildcats hosting the Eisenhower Cadets. Eastmont undefeated in league. They're 6-1 overall. They got 3 games remaining. Junior Carson Everhart was brought in at quarterback in the second game of the season. Kalen Massey moved out to the slot position. Now, Everhart says he's received a lot of help from his coach and his teammates to keep working week to week and staying steady to the task at hand.
You know, I just have to focus each week as it comes. You know, I haven't focused on Moses Lake or Wenatchee or even playoffs yet. It's just like keep focusing on the things that I'm not so good at. So just keep trying to get better at what I'm not good at and what I am good at. So just trying to get better every week.
Who's helping you the most with that and that progression for you as a quarterback?
Probably Coach Don. He's always positive. Sometimes he's not, but if I ever have questions, I can ask him, and he helps me good. Massey helps me too. He's always positive, and we just stay after and work, and you know, it's going good.
Pre-game tomorrow night, 6:45, kickoff at 7 o'clock. Eric Granstrom, Grant Olson, and a cast of thousands at Eastmont Wildcats. Stadium. Wenatchee undefeated as well in Big Nine play. They're 4-0. They're going to be on the road. They'll take in on Sunnyside tomorrow. The head coach of the Wenatchee Panthers, Scott Devereaux, says his defense are going to have a tall task continuing and corralling quarterback Derek Escamilla and wide receiver Mike Rivera.
He's a heck of an athlete. That guy, you know, watching the film of the Eastmont game, he basically keeps them in the game all by himself. They couldn't tackle him. And that's been a focus all week is we got to stop that guy. You know, he had the speedy receiver who leads the league in receptions and touchdowns, so we got to stop that guy. And, you know, I think we have a great plan going in, so we'll see if we can execute it.
We'll have more on Friday Night Football tomorrow right here on the NCW Life channel. So we're continuing our series featuring Paul Allen this week. Of course, he passed away Monday at the age of 65. 21 years ago, Paul Allen saved the Seahawks from moving to California. They passed Referendum 48 in 1997. That meant a new stadium and replacing the aging and decrepit Kingdome. It was also time to focus on turning the Seattle Seahawks into a winner.
Here we go, CDI. Clear.
I think the winning culture started when we just kept watching this beautiful facility rise out of the ashes of the Kingdome.
Paul grew up watching Husky football in Husky Stadium. His dad would take him to games.
We grew up loving football, and every Saturday we would make the trek down to Husky football games with my dad.
Paul borrowed some of the best design principles from Husky Stadium, including what we call vertical intimacy, where people in the upper decks are close to the game.
The fan experience was first and foremost. We wanted the stadium to be loud and for every seat to have great sight lines.
Having one end of the stadium be open, there's a visual connection to your surroundings and to the community.
That first night was amazing.
There was just something really special about figuring out how to make that stadium our own. You know, coming up with ideas like raising the 12th man flag, Tame of the Hawk. All this great stuff made it really the best atmosphere to watch a football game in the entire NFL.
Hey, challenge him today now. Okay.
Mike Holmgren really put his fingerprints on this organization and started to build it. Contender every year, building through that 2005 season.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
The 2005 season was kind of like a magic carpet ride. It was amazing to watch the Seahawks keep winning.
When there's goal lines to be found, Sean comes in. What a day he's had.
They were starting to fly at an altitude that no Seahawk had ever flown to before.
The crowd noise that we had in the 2005 season was so pivotal to our success, especially defensively. Most false starts by an opponent.
This is as fine a team as I've ever been associated with. You're going to play for the NFC Championship next Sunday right here.
Noise in here is just deafening.
Everything you daydreamed about as a kid was to be in this game. 1, 2, 3. Turn the hand to Sean. He pushes ahead. Touchdown, Seahawks. The ball is picked off at the 42-yard line.
When the Seahawks won the NFC title game, that's when the reality sunk in that we are really going to go to the Super Bowl.
I've waited 30 years for this. It's worth the wait.
This is why we all together tried to keep the Seahawks in Seattle, and this is what we were trying to achieve.
A winning football team, a brand new stadium, the next step to win it all. And we'll do that tomorrow as we continue our week-long tribute to Paul Allen. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. At the bottom of the hour on this Thursday, let's do your obscure holiday for the 18th day of October. Today is Chocolate Cupcake Day. all of my, not all of them, but the vast majority of my obscure holidays seem to be food related, I've noticed. Well, I like food, for one thing. Of course, here's a unique fact about the cupcake in and of itself, not necessarily chocolate cupcakes. Cupcakes are a uniquely American invention. Somebody a long time ago said, I want to eat a cake, I just don't want to make a big cake. Can I just make a small cake I can eat in 4 bites with my hand? And they tried it, and there you go. Cupcakes in and of themselves are phenomenally good little snacks to mow down, but there's nothing like a chocolate cupcake with a tall glass of milk. So enjoy today by eating several chocolate cupcakes. I'm going to eat 9 today. That's my goal, maybe 10. It's time for Today in History. October 18th, 1851. Is it the great American novel? I'm talking about Moby Dick. Herman Melville's Moby Dick was first published. The book was entitled originally The Whale. It was published in London, not in the United States. When Herman Melville died, Moby Dick was out of print and Herman Melville was broke. It wasn't until long after he passed away that people started to figure out, hey, you know what? This is a really good book. And, well, Moby Dick is a really good book. And you could go to your local bookstore in London 167 years ago and buy your own copy. Not a lot of people did. October 18th, 1867, Happy Alaska Day. Yes, the check cleared the bank, and it was a done deal. The United States formally took possession of Alaska. They bought it from Russia for $7.2 million. Pretty good real estate deal. Every day, this is celebrated in Alaska as Alaska Day, so it's the 151st edition of Alaska Day today. That's the actual check. I don't have the backside of it to see the endorsement. That happened on October 18th, 1867. October 18th, 1977, Mr. October, Reginald Martinez Jackson hits 3 home runs off 3 different pitchers in Game 6 of the 1977 World Series. Yankees beat the Dodgers 8-4 for their 21st World Championship. Probably the single greatest performance in a single World Series game in history. Happened 41 years ago today. And October 18th, 1979, the Federal Communications Commission, 39 years ago today, laid down a ruling that said, if you want to put a big old C-band dish out in your yard, you can. Before that, you had to have a license from the federal government to own one of these, and they said, nah, not anymore. And so these home satellite earth stations started popping up all over the place, and you could grab a lot of stuff floating around up there in space if you knew what you were doing. So as you drive around town and you see the small little dishes, it all began with the big dishes 39 years ago today when the government said if it's floating around up there and you can get it, you can get it. There you go. And finally, at 32 minutes after the hour, birthdays. Charles Edward Anderson, Chuck Berry, the legend. Alongside Buddy Holly, the 2 titans of the early years of rock and roll, in my opinion. You know, nothing wrong with Elvis or Ray Charles. I love them all. But Chuck Berry has a special place in my heart. Chuck Berry was born in the state in 1926. Passed away last year at the age of 90. The legend, Chuck Berry. Speaking of legends, George C. Scott, the American actor and director, was born in the state in 1927. Passed away at the age of 71. Dr. Strangelove, A Christmas Carol, he was so good in that, of course. He won the Academy Award in 1971 for Best Actor for Patton. He told the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences if he wins, number 1, he ain't going to show up, and number 2, he's not going to accept the Oscar. Well, he won. They put his name on the Oscar. They shipped it to his house, and nobody knows what's happened to it. Anyway, George C. Scott, born in the state in 1927. Oh, let me tell you about Keith Jackson. Let me tell you about the football. Keith Jackson, sportscaster, the great Keith Jackson. Of course, we lost Keith in January at the age of 89. Synonymous here in the Pacific Northwest, a graduate of Washington State University. It was a KOMO's news anchor for many, many years. Broadcast Husky football. Eventually became iconic and really the voice of college football forever and ever and ever. The legendary Keith Jackson was born on this date. Forrest Gregg is 85 years old today. Vince Lombardi called Forrest Gregg the greatest football player he ever coached. He's in the Hall of Fame, and he has 6 world championship rings. Forrest Gregg is 85 years old today. The Professor and Mary Ann here on Gilligan's Island. Dawn Wells, Mary Ann, is 80 years old today. She's a graduate of the University of Washington. She was Miss Nevada in 1959, but she'll always be known as Mary Ann on Gilligan's Island. She's 80 years old today. 34 minutes after the hour, everyone's entitled to Mike McNally's opinion, and my conversation with the North Central Washington Volleyball Club is coming up. At first, let's get Danny the dog home. It's Kettle Cameos with Megan McPherson on the NCW Live channel.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCW Life Channel. We are here with Renee Parkins, the Development Officer of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and we're also here with Robin, Danny's foster parent, and we're here with Danny. So can you tell us about Danny?
Yes. Danny is, according to the vet, a 3-year-old Chug, which is a Chihuahua Pug mix. And he's from Texas. When he came here, he was really stressed out by his trip and being in the shelter. So we took him into foster care in late July, and he has just blossomed ever since. Once he got to know us, he's really shy around new people and maybe sharp noises, but oh, there you go, baby. That's a boy. He's very sweet. Now he loves other dogs. He would do okay in a house without any other pets, but I don't think he would thrive. I think he would thrive if with another dog in the house that he can play with. He loves to take walks. He loves to jump on the bed and get a tummy rub in the morning. And you would never have thought that was possible if you had met him in July. Here you go, baby.
Do you know how he is around kids?
I would say he probably shouldn't be around young kids. The noise and hustle bustle would probably be a little uncomfortable for him, and probably not in a situation where he has people coming in and out of the house that he doesn't know frequently, because again, he's shy, and those kind of situations kind of stress him out. He would also need a fenced yard. He does have a skill that I need to tell you. He can jump over barriers if they're not tall enough. Yeah, and he only does it if he has a dog to go visit. So, yeah.
So he loves to go play with his friends.
He does. He's a very social little guy with other dogs. And he's very friendly with us now that he knows us.
Oh, he's such a sweet little guy, and he's so cute. If someone wants to adopt him, what should they do? Should they set up an appointment with you?
You can call the Humane Society. They'll put you in touch with me, and we'll set up a time and place for you to meet with him, or I can answer any questions that you may have, and we'll go from there.
Yep, and our number is 662-9577. Awesome.
Danny.
She's for you, Danny.
Do you have something to say?
Danny.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. Kennel Cameos is supported in part by Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory in Leavenworth. Not only does the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory have great house-made fudge and super delicious candy and caramel apples, but they also have great doggy treats for your four-legged friends, located at 636 Front Street in Leavenworth. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by LocalTel. Chelan Chase is this Saturday at Riverwalk Park. Proceeds from this 5K race run walk will benefit hospitals and cancer patients. Also Saturday, the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center will be hosting a free art class from 11 to 12. Learn how to draw using a continuous line like Swiss-German artist Paul Klee. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
Find it all at Wenatchee Valley Mall. There's something for all ages at Wenatchee Valley Mall. No matter what the weather, the kids will have fun in one of the many play areas around the mall. Sign your kids up for fun adventures and super specials when they join the Kids Club. It's a great time for kids and an even better time out for parents. Check out specials and events 24/7 at WenatcheeValleyMall.com. It's your Wenatchee Valley Mall. Come shop today.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, so a business person wants to advertise his or her business, and they hire some famous person like, I don't know, Bozo the Clown. And Bozo says, hey, I'm Bozo, and my good friend so-and-so is the person you should trust to buy your next used car from. Something like that. Now, my question is, does said business person really believe that the rest of us are just dumb bunnies, and we're going to think that they and Bozo are these really great buds, and Bozo's endorsing words are not really only something that the business person paid Bozo to say? I mean, come on. You know, it's bad enough that politicians assume that we're stupid. Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Lake Chelan Mailboxes is a small place with a lot to offer. Job one is shipping and receiving from A to Z. They pack it, they label it, they ship it. But did you know we also offer notary service, online computer access, legal forms, copies, greeting cards, and of course, mailboxes. Chelan Mailboxes, everything you need in one small package.
Only one country could build a truck like this. Designed in California, engineered in Michigan, tested in Arizona, and assembled in Mississippi. Powered by Cummins of Indiana. The all-new Nissan Titan. It's an American classic. Is it on your list? Come down and see us at Town Nissan behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The object of volleyball is to not let the ball hit the court. Rule number one. Rule number two is if you don't know what else you're talking about, you invite in people who do know what they're talking about the great sport of volleyball. And they are two of the big wigs, can I call you guys big wigs, of the North Central Washington Volleyball Club, which is club volleyball. And to my immediate left is Connor Metcalf, and to my far left is Jeff Riley. Jeff's the club director, but I just found out the club director really doesn't do much. Congratulations on that gig.
That's all right.
Before we get into the meat and potatoes of why you're here, a little something about you. We'll start with you, Jeff. Jeff Riley, to introduce your folks to our television audience.
My name is Jeff Riley. I'm the director of Central Washington Volleyball Club. Been involved with it for about 5 or 6 years and helped grow the sport of volleyball, girls indoor volleyball, throughout our schools and throughout our club season. So it's been fun.
And so you're one of the original members. You've been there from day one.
No, I've actually only been involved with the club for 5 or 6 years. My daughter actually played when she was in school. And I kind of took over and was elected as far as director about 4 seasons ago. And it's been fun.
I am assuming in your younger days you played volleyball.
I actually did play volleyball, originally born and raised in California and played out on the beach a lot.
Oh, okay. Yep. Cool. We've got to know Connor a little bit because Connor wears a number of hats. He's the head volleyball coach with Wenatchee High School girls volleyball team. A little something about Connor.
Yeah.
Fill in the blanks.
Sure. Head coach at Wenatchee High School, oversee the program there, and have been brought on to WUWV-2018-10-18 as a coaching resource. So here to kind of just help out and give some expertise on some back-end side of how to continue to help move the club forward and help it grow and just get it to its strongest point. So, and we want to do that. Kind of my specialty would be coming into the gym and making sure that all of our coaches are enhancing their abilities as coaches, but keeping it consistent on what we're teaching across the board.
Is there a challenge of coaching the coaches as opposed to coaching high school girls?
You know, it's a different aspect, different realm. But one of the good things about it is you can have very mature conversations. And so it's really cool whether it's a young girl that you're coaching in the sport or if it's an adult that's coaching a team, kind of seeing them apply this material and these skills to their teams, and then once it clicks, it's really cool to see. So
now you're new to town, right?
I am new to town.
You came from where?
I came personally from Las Vegas, but I'm from Southern California.
Okay, and now what are your impressions of little old Wenatchee Town, USA?
So I love it here. My wife and I, we moved here in July. We love it. We came up here because of the Wenatchee High School program. And I'd been coming here doing camps for NCWVBC for probably the last 3 to 4 years.
So you were familiar with the area?
Familiar with the area and got to meet some great people. Got to meet Jeff here, would stay with him when I would be lodging up here and doing camps for the club. And met some people within the Wenatchee High School program and got connected, and now I'm up here.
So you interviewed for the job. You sat down, I suppose, with Jim and a few other people, Beeson, and you got the gig.
Yeah. So we did that via FaceTime.
Okay.
In Las Vegas, so I wasn't actually physically able to come up here, but talked with him, talked with Leanne, and met with the board for the school, and just really felt like I was the right decision, and my wife and I felt really compelled to come up here and just really pour into these girls in this program. And ultimately, you know, we want to grow these girls volleyball-wise. We want to grow the Valley volleyball-wise, but we really want to help them mature and figure out where they want to go in life and enhance those skills.
And that's really the key. I mean, we talk about that. Participating in team sports, male or female, from the time you're 7 until the time you're 77 is important, I think, to develop yourself as a well-rounded human being. Yeah. But why, Jeff? Why volleyball? What is it about volleyball that attracts you to the? I mean, you had a daughter who got into it and you played. But what is it about volleyball as a sport that you enjoy so much?
The one thing about volleyball that's really fun is it isn't just about hitting the ball over the net. You learn life lessons from it. You learn how to deal with a team. You learn how to deal with people coaches that you may like or may not like, and how to work all of that as you're growing up. It's just a fun sport. It's a fast sport. You know, I mean, if somebody makes an error, hey, move on, get to the next point. You know, don't sit there stewing about what's going on. So there's a lot of things that can be learned in life lessons besides just the sport of volleyball. It's fast, it's active, and I just have a passion for it. So. A lot of fun.
Second question for you, Connor. What brings you to volleyball, and why do you enjoy the sport so much?
So growing up in Las Vegas, boys volleyball doesn't start until high school. But growing up, I had an older sister that's 3 years older than me, and she was an All-State, All-American nominee. And just saw it, and I thought it was a girl sport at first, and that's why I didn't want to play it and get involved. But once I got involved with it, I realized it's a unique sport in the sense that it is the ultimate team sport. You have 6 people on a 30-foot side of the floor, and you get 3 contacts to send it over and put it on the other side. So with that being said, you can't see where the ball is going, right, until it's hit onto your side. And you have 6 people that have to communicate and work together to keep that up. So just really am fascinated with it. Again, love the fast pace, just as Jeff said, but really, really enjoy the team aspect of it.
You can play volleyball almost anywhere. You don't even need a full-size gym to play it. Right. And it's such a game of momentum and emotion, isn't it? The back and forth. That's one of the drawing cards of volleyball as a sport. Yep. And you mentioned something very curious, Jeff, and people see this if you watch a volleyball game. Regardless of who won the previous point, both teams huddle, they do a little, and let's go get them again, which is, I think, really cool as far as team building is. You don't see that in other sports.
You don't.
Right.
Yeah. So the North Central Washington Volleyball Club is starting their new season this year. They just had an informational meeting a couple of nights ago. Right. Sell your product to, hey, I got an 8-year-old girl, and she's physically active, and I think she might like to play volleyball. Why join the club? What do they get out of it? And
we actually, some of our main philosophies are teaching kids how to play volleyball. The kids that know how to play volleyball, we have tryouts, and our club philosophy is we don't actually cut anybody. If they're brave enough to come out and play volleyball, or at least try to learn, we're willing to teach them. And we have teams that, last year we had teams that had anywhere from 7 years old all the way up to 18 years old. And we try to get the kids in the sport. One of our main goals is to try to get kids recruited into college and have them play at the next level. I mean, that's kind of why club volleyball exists for a lot of kids, to be able to get to that point so they can look for college scholarships to play ball.
Is the Wenatchee Valley a good volleyball town, Coach?
It is. It's a great little pocket. There's a ton of talent in here. One of the things that Jeff really hit the nail on the head with there is I previously coached for 3 years at Vanguard University in Southern California, and as a recruiting specialist, one of the things that you see is you don't see a ton of college coaches coming to a high school match. You see them coming into a big arena, convention center, where there are hundreds of thousands of girls playing on these high-level club teams. And so coming into Wenatchee, that was something that sparked me doing these camps and coming in and kind of recruiting here. Is there's a ton of talent in this valley. And just getting the access to move into club where you better your skills, you get great coaching, you get great experience with players and friends, you get to travel, you get to see different areas of the state and the country, and you get to see different regions of volleyball. Every region has a different style of volleyball, and so being exposed to that, it really ups your game in a sense, and the quality of skill that you can acquire through that. Wenatchee as a whole, a ton of talent in here, and we're looking to really pursue that talent and get it to the next level.
Having grown up in a volleyball family, I had a couple of sisters who played volleyball. One won a state championship at Wenatchee High and a couple of national championships at Portland State. Even though they were great athletes, You don't have to be a good athlete to play volleyball and be good at volleyball and enjoy it. You don't have to be an All-American to play the game.
Right.
So I remember one match specifically. This gal was maybe 5 feet tall, but she could serve. And she served a knuckleball that was almost unreturnable.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things, you can pick up little skills like that, can't you, just by playing volleyball?
Yeah, one of the things inside of volleyball that I think is so great is going back to the team sport of it. I mean, everybody has a role. I use an analogy with my teams that it's like a car engine. If a little piece in the transmission goes out, the whole engine goes out. If the oil is bad, the engine can go wrong. You know, spark plugs are out, the engine can fail. So everybody has their role, has their skill. Oftentimes the one thing that I hear from people is, oh, I played volleyball, but I was too short. Well, there's this girl in this different colored jersey that everyone always asks about, who if you don't know about volleyball, and she's a libero. And so with the libero position, she's skilled in passing and playing defense. Then you have a 6'5" girl who's a skilled blocker and a great attacker. And you have a girl who's maybe 5'9", 5'10", who's got unbelievably soft hands and is a great setter. And then you get the girls who can come in and play some defense and they have a great serve. So there's different aspects of the game that brings a team together. And if you find your role and you just master your craft and your skill, it can really be a beautiful thing.
If we planted the seeds for parents out there, and I hope we have, what's the time commitment, the money commitment, that kind of stuff? If you said you don't cut any kids, you try out, you're in. Take it from that point forward. What do the parents need to know about their commitment to the club? And obviously it's a club, so there's money.
There is a fee that we charge. And it varies based on what team a person makes. And we have our tryouts, and I'll plug our tryouts a little bit.
Go ahead.
Our U12 and U14 tryouts are the 4th and 6th. And then the following week, the 13th and 15th, are our 16th and 18th tryouts. So we have 2 different weeks because we like to give kids a couple of different tryout dates in case they have a bad game the first one. You know, we bring them in the second day. The fees range anywhere from $400 up to $1,700. We do a lot of traveling as far as on the upper level teams, our gold teams. In fact, this year we have Coach Martin McMahon is doing a 16 elite team for us. They're traveling to Kentucky, Indianapolis, Long Beach, Las Vegas, a number of different places. Very high level play in the Junior Volleyball Association format. You know, you go to a tournament like that, there's like 300 or 400 teams that are playing. And then we have all the way from that level all the way down to the instructional development teams that we have where kids haven't really touched the volleyball before. And obviously those are going to be like a 2 or 3 type of tournament during the season. Season lasts till April, first part of April.
So the tryouts are still next month. They're in November.
That's correct.
And then the season runs from when to when?
November. That tournaments actually start in January, and they run all the way through. Most teams through the mid-April. Coach McCann's team will be through the end of May.
As a coach, what's it like when you see a burgeoning volleyball player that has talent, that they get it, all of a sudden they have that little epiphany? One day they dive for it and they got it and they win the point because they sacrificed their knees to keep the ball from hitting the floor. What's it like from a coaching standpoint when that happens?
That's what keeps me going.
Yeah.
I've been coaching actually since I was 16 years old. I'm 26 now, so that's 10 years I've been coaching. One of the coolest things that you get to see is that aha moment. It's that moment where you've been putting in just tons of labor and then you finally see the fruits of your labor. And one of the things that I think is so crucial in that is a lot of people will themselves to do it. And that's really what it comes down to is, yes, you fine-tune your technique, you fine-tune your skill, but willing yourself to do that, to make that change and consistently make that change. As a coach, been around the game, so you know the tools, you know the game plans. I have mentors that I talk with on a weekly basis at the Division I NC2A level. And one of the things is when that girl gets it, and not only she just gets it and you perform, but when you see her get it and she understands and realizes it and you start to see that abundance of confidence, it's an unbelievably great feeling to see that as a coach, that not only are you doing what you love, but you get to see girls now really start to blossom and love the game.
We're going to get you the meat and potatoes of the information you need to know about the North Central Washington Volleyball Club. I don't know why I can't figure that out. But I got you here, Connor. So real quickly, let's talk about Wenatchee High School girls volleyball. You're new to the program. Pretty tradition-rich program. They got a state championship, and that's kind of a cool thing. Talk about the year so far, how you've seen this team develop from day one to now. And now, of course, you have two big matches this week, including your rivals with Eastmont on Thursday. Talk a little bit about this year's girls volleyball team.
Very blessed to come into this program. As you mentioned, previously a very rich program, a lot of athletes that have come through. From where we started in July when I came in and took over the program to where we are now, I mean, it's head and shoulders. It's unbelievable where we've come. To see the level of play that all of our players are playing at, to see where they're understanding the game, they're seeing the game from a different lens. Has been such a joy to be a part of. Obviously we had a great year last year, which I obviously wasn't a part of, but to come in to where people have said, oh, this is just a rebuilding year, and to actually be honest with my team and tell them that, to see how fired up they get. The record doesn't speak of it right now. It was a little bit of a slow start, but I would say probably in the last 2.5 weeks we've really picked up steam, and these girls are playing with a ton of confidence. They're confident with our philosophies that we have now. They're confident with the skills. They're going up. They're doing things inside of practice and matches and adapting to the gameplay. So I'm really excited, having started our second leg of league. This last week, I'm really excited to see where we finish up here this last half of it. So.
And a month ago, the Panthers and the Wildcats played an epic 5-setter at the Eastmont Gymnasium. Took 2 hours to play. It was so exciting. The place was rocking. It was just a fun atmosphere to watch these girls play. It was a great time. Yeah. And we do it again on Thursday.
Do it again on Thursday, Wenatchee High School.
Once again, Jeff Riley and Connor Metcalf. Jeff, one more time, give people all the information they need to know if they want to get their girls involved in the club. I got the website here, but you want to fill in the blanks?
And actually, our website has got all the information listed on the homepage, is all the current events. We still have last year's teams posted, just so kind of people get an idea as far as what the teams and the coaching looks like. But yeah, tryouts are the first 2 weeks of November. Love to see anybody that wants to play, continue to play, or learn to play at those tryouts.
And there are life lessons that they'll take all the way to the end.
Yes, there are.
That's the key.
Yep.
All right. Our good friends from the North Central Washington Volleyball Club. Yes, I said it. Keep us in the loop, and good luck, Coach, on Thursday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Hello, Wenatchee Valley. Christian Shaman here with Bay Equity Home Loans.
Let us make your dream of home ownership a reality. We're here to guide you through the loan process every step of the way. Check out our convenient online application. Bay Equity Home Loans in Wenatchee, your home for loans.
Stop on by or give us a call today.
Turn back the clocks and grab the ice melt. Winter weather is here. This is Corey at Rose Tractor. If you're looking for a reliable way to clear snow, look no further than Cub Cadet. For sidewalks and driveways, a Cub Cadet snow thrower will get the job done in a jiffy. For larger jobs, a Cub Cadet Challenger utility vehicle with a snow blade will handle about anything. You can depend on Cub Cadet for years of reliable performance, and we'll help you select the best model for your job at Rose Tractor, family-run business at the corner of 3rd and Rock Island Road in East Wenatchee.
And we're back here on this Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz, your host, on another drop-dead gorgeous day here in the Wenatchee Valley and all over north central Washington, all over the Pacific Northwest for that matter. Quite a bit of sunshine right now, 37 degrees. Let's take a look at your forecast one more time. Those afternoon highs from the National Weather Service, they've been predicting upper 60s, haven't gotten there yet. So you see that high of 67 today and 68 tomorrow, maybe more like 64, 65. More like it, just a few passing high thin clouds, and that's really all we're going to be dealing with right through the weekend before we have our first significant change in the weather Tuesday night into Wednesday with some mountain snow. First real significant snowfall possible in the mountains Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and down here in the valley floor we can see a little bit of rain, so get it while you can. We got this for about another 5.5 days. before Mother Nature is going to pull the plug on this beautiful, sunny, mild weather. Friendly broadcast reminder, we got volleyball tonight, and not just any other volleyball match. It's the Eastmont Wildcats and the Wenatchee Panthers for the Wenatchee High School Gymnasium. The pregame show at about 6:50, and we'll get going about 7 o'clock. Eric Granstrom and Leanne Branham will be calling the action there. That is tonight. And then tomorrow night we'll be at Eastmont's Wildcat Stadium as the Eastmont Wildcats take on the Eisenhower Cadets in Columbia Basin. Big Nine football. Busy couple of days around here. Tomorrow on this program, Diana Hagland for the Wenatchee School District. Everybody have yourself a great Thursday. Bye-bye.